Does it feel like a cruel joke, a never-ending cycle of hope and heartbreak for the Buffalo Sabres faithful? And how much more can a player, a true leader, pour into a franchise when the promise of tomorrow perpetually remains just out of reach? For the long-suffering fans of the Buffalo Sabres, that question isn't rhetorical. It's a raw, aching wound that reopens with every missed playoff berth, every season that spirals into familiar disappointment. And now, as the calendar pages turn and another campaign begins with a chillingly familiar thud, the future of one of their most beloved and impactful players, Alex Tuch, hangs precariously in the balance. Is this the year the dam finally breaks, forcing a difficult decision that could send shockwaves through the league? Or can Buffalo somehow, against all historical odds, pull itself back from the brink? The air in Buffalo, New York, has been thick, with a particular kind of melancholy for far too long. 14 consecutive seasons without a taste of playoff hockey. Let that sink in. 14 years. It's not just a statistic, it's an NHL record, a heavy shroud draped over a franchise that once boasted legends and inspired hope. Despite a recent accumulation of promising young talent, a roster that on paper should be far more competitive, team success has remained an elusive mirage. The 2025-26 season was supposed to be different, a fresh start, a turning point. But a brutal 4-0 shutout loss to the New York Rangers in their home opener, a game that felt less like a contest and more like a stark reminder of past failures, has cast an immediate ominous shadow. It's a cruel reality in professional sports. Winning attracts, losing repels. Getting top-tier players to commit to Buffalo has always been an uphill battle, and the losing culture that has festered for over a decade only exacerbates the challenge. Yet, amidst this bleak landscape, one player has stood out, a beacon of passion and commitment, Alex Tuch. A Syracuse, New York native, Tuch has embraced being a Sabre, with a fervor rarely seen from players not born and bred in the city itself. He's been a leader, a dynamic offensive force, and a fan favorite. But even the most unwavering loyalty has its limits, especially when a player enters the final year of a significant contract. As Tuch navigates this pivotal season, his future with the team could very well come into question if the Sabres' struggles continue their disheartening trajectory. The whispers have already begun, and they're growing louder. Insider David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period recently weighed in on Tuch's situation during an appearance on Daily Faceoff Live, and his words should send a shiver down the spine of every Sabres fan. Pagnotta didn't mince words, stating unequivocally, "I think there are a lot of teams that would love to get their hands on this guy if he becomes available." And among those eager contenders, a familiar name emerged. One that has its own Stanley Cup aspirations burning brighter than ever, the Edmonton Oilers. Tuch's contract status is the elephant in the room. He's just embarked on the 7th and final season of the 7-year, $33.25 million extension he originally inked with the Vegas Golden Knights back in 2018. This isn't just any contract year. It's the culmination of a long-term commitment, a moment where a player of Tuch's caliber typically seeks long-term security and a chance to compete for the ultimate prize. Pagnotta noted that there's nothing new to report on contract discussions between Tuch and the Sabres, and nothing really going on at the moment. While he cautioned against hitting panic buttons anytime soon, his subsequent analysis painted a far more urgent picture. The longer the season goes without a deal, and depending on how the season goes for the Sabres, could impact the player's decision and the team's ultimate decision, Pagnotta explained. This is the cold, hard truth of the NHL. Loyalty is admirable, but ambition, especially for a player entering his prime, is a powerful motivator. If the Sabres continue to flounder, if by the halfway point of the season it's clear they're already looking ahead to 2026-27, then the discussions will inevitably shift from extension talks to trade possibilities. And I would imagine the Oilers would be one of them, Pagnotta added. But I think a lot of contending teams would love to get their hands on a player of his caliber. So let's turn our gaze north to the heart of Alberta, where the Edmonton Oilers are meticulously building a roster around the generational talent of Connor McDavid. The Oilers have been on a relentless quest for top six forward help, a consistent winger who can complement their superstar centers and provide reliable secondary scoring. This isn't a new desire, it's been a recurring theme in their strategic planning. And here's where the plot thickens, where McDavid's own selflessness becomes a crucial piece of the puzzle. Connor McDavid, arguably the best player in the world, signed a very team-friendly extension, a move driven by a singular overriding objective, to win a Stanley Cup. He took a discount, leaving money on the table specifically to provide the Oilers with the cap flexibility needed to improve other parts of their roster. This strategic sacrifice has created a window of opportunity, a financial runway that allows general manager Ken Holland, or whoever is at the helm, to pursue high-impact players who might otherwise be out of reach. Imagine Alex Tuch, a 29-year-old power forward with speed, skill, and a proven ability to produce, slotting into the Oilers' top six. He's a right-shot winger with a physical presence and a player who thrives in high-stakes situations. The fit, on paper, is almost too perfect. Hearing that the Oilers are actively seeking top six help, and then considering the potential availability of a player like Tuch, should the Sabres season continue its downward spiral, creates a compelling narrative. It's the kind of scenario that could provide the perfect opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers to step in and pounce, transforming a struggling franchise's dilemma into a contender's dream acquisition. The strategic dance that will unfold over the coming months is fraught with tension and high stakes for both franchises. For the Buffalo Sabres, the decision regarding Tuch is a monumental one. Do they risk losing a cornerstone player, a local hero, for nothing if they fail to extend him and the season continues its grim trajectory? Or do they make the agonizing choice to trade him, recouping valuable assets, but potentially further alienating a fan base already pushed to its emotional limits? The halfway point of the season isn't just an arbitrary date. It's a critical juncture, a moment of truth where the Sabres management will be forced to confront their reality and make a definitive move. From the Oilers' perspective, the situation is one of calculated opportunism. They possess the cap space, thanks to McDavid's team-first approach. They have an immediate and pressing need for a player of Tuch's specific skill set. And perhaps most importantly, they can offer Tuch something the Sabres, for all their potential, currently cannot: a legitimate immediate chance to compete for the Stanley Cup. While Pagnotta mentioned a lot of contending teams, the Oilers' unique combination of superstar talent, cap flexibility, and a burning desire for a championship makes them an exceptionally attractive destination for a player like Tuch. He could be the missing piece, the final puzzle part that elevates them from perennial contenders to ultimate champions. As the Buffalo Sabres grapple with the ghosts of seasons past and the harsh realities of the present, and as Alex Tuch navigates the most pivotal year of his professional career, the hockey world watches with bated breath. Will loyalty prevail against the tide of futility? Or will ambition guide Tuch to a new home, a new opportunity to chase the ultimate glory? The clock is ticking, the stakes are astronomical, and the potential for a seismic shift in the NHL landscape grows with every passing game. This isn't just about trades and contracts. It's about the human element of professional sports, the pursuit of glory, the weight of expectation, and the agonizing choices that define careers and shape legacies. What do you think, hockey faithful? Can the Buffalo Sabres somehow turn their season around and convince Alex Tuch to stay? Or is his departure to a contender like the Edmonton Oilers an inevitable outcome? Share your predictions, your hopes, and your frustrations in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this analysis insightful, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth reports and breaking news from across the National Hockey League.